Hey everybody, Shadow Dragon here. Welcome to today's video. This is, I know, a couple weeks in the making, and I apologize for that. There's been a lot of weapon testing, um, and a lot of frustrations. The game's been a little broken here and there, um, and it's just the game's a little stale. But I did do a lot of weapon testing, and I'm going to give you both your close range and your long range metas here. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that before we get into the loadouts for long range and for close range. Make sure you guys like and comment. Really helps the channel grow, and it goes a long way to helping us reach out more people, and so we can show them these loadouts, because I promise you they're the best of the best. Make sure you watch the whole video, because that's really going to help as well. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. We got the best loadout videos for Warzone on YouTube. We also have fun gameplays that we do, that you guys can also tune in to see more of those. I have a Resurgence one coming up, and I have one where I just dropped a bunch of kills. Um, I have a couple in the backlogs that I'm going to be making over the next week or 2 weeks. But this is long time due, so we're going to get here. Like, comment, sub if you're new. And without further ado, let's get into the close range meta. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, strictly based on TTK. And I have used all these weapons, and they do feel as good as the stats say they do. Just, you know how the game is. It's a little buggy, a little wonky. So sometimes, because the game is kind of crappy, it does feel a little shitty. But we are going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, strictly based on 50-meter TTK. 50 meters is probably your optimal, like your longest range engagement that you really want to take. So all these weapons are built for recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range, like a true AR would be. So that being said, we have the Baz B here first. We have the glassless optic. Any optic you want to use and you feel most comfortable with is fine. The Bruin Venom long barrel is going to give us recoil control, firing aim stability. It's going to give us the best bullet velocity and damage range extension. Quartermaster suppressor is just really, really good right now, so we'll be using that on all of our weapons, I believe. And then the 277 high grain rounds, and then your 45 round extended mag. BASB has an 800 millisecond TTK with that build out at 50 meters, so it shoots nukes. Um, it absolutely shoots nukes. So the next one is going to be the Holger 556. Now, keep in mind, these are relative TTKs. These are assuming you hit 100% of your shots. So it is going to feel a little bit worse if you don't hit your shots, but not by much. And that's why I'm picking these, because they're the best of the best. So this is the Holger 556. This is number 5. We have the glassless optic. Again, whatever optic you feel the most comfortable with. The Cryo 6 match barrel is going to give us damage range, velocity, and control. Quartermaster suppressor is going to give us a ton of recoil control. For this one, we stake out. We still use high grain rounds. I just didn't change it here. And 40 round mag is the largest magazine capacity. So we're going to go high grain rounds there. There we go. And that's how you're going to get that 769 millisecond TTK out at range if you hit all your shots. Which no one's going to hit all their shots out at that range, but you'll still have a really, really good TTK, and this thing will feel really good when you're beating people out of the sky with it and beating people at range with it. Next up, at 765 milliseconds at the 50 meter mark, we have the BAL 27. This gun got overbuffed. Like, not in the killing sense, but like in the recoil, this thing is an absolute laser beam. Just shoots straight as straight can be. Especially with this build, we're going heavy in on the bullet velocity and the damage range. So we have the Ardent tack stock, which gives us a huge boost to recoil control. The crown barrel gives us damage range, bullet velocity, and movement speed, so this does feel a little bit more aggressive. Quartermaster suppressor kind of just negates most of the recoil, and then the high grain rounds, once again with that extended damage range and extended bullet velocity as well. 60 round mag. This iron sight build is absolutely insane. If you don't like the iron sights, honestly, I don't have anything to take off for you. You could take out the high grain rounds and put on a sight. It just wouldn't be as effective. If you did that, I'd recommend changing the Quartermaster suppressor to the Spirit Fire suppressor or the Sonic suppressor at that point. So, yeah, this thing is pretty disgusting. So make sure you guys give this a shot. on our list of fastest killing long range fully automatic weapons in Season 5 is the MTZ 556. This thing just keeps on getting buffed. Every half season they throw a new buff at it. I really think they're trying to make it the meta, but then, they released the number one long range weapon here. That's next. But this thing is an absolute laser beam. I love the iron sights on this. Reminds me a lot of the RAM with the high fire rate, clean iron sights. However, if you need a sight, I recommend taking off the Bruin Archangel MK2 stock. This is just all about firing aim stability and uh, damage range, bullet velocity. So we get the Bruin Archangel, which is going to give us like I think it's 17% recoil gun kick, which is crazy. That means it's not going to like jump up the first couple bullets, and it gives us firing aim stability, MTZ clinch pro barrel, firing aim stability, aiming idle sway, and I believe it gives you a crazy amount of bullet velocity and a good amount of damage range. Quartermaster suppressor keeps us off the map. Excellent recoil control. High grain rounds gives us that 15% bonus to the damage range and the bullet velocity, and then the 50 round drum. Like I said, if you're not comfortable with the iron sights, drop the stock, put the iron sights on. This thing is absolutely crazy. It has a 740 millisecond TTK at the 50-meter range, which is absolutely insane. The range actually extends beyond that. I think it goes almost out to 60 meters for that TTK. So yeah, absolutely, absolutely insane. So definitely give this one a try as well, and uh, see what you guys think. Our number one and absolute meta is the STG-44. This gun is absolutely unstoppable in its first damage range. With this build, it has 54 meters in its first damage range. It has a 600 millisecond time to kill, which is absolutely disgusting. That is insane. It just it just shreds. You can even get lower than that. You can get like a 500 something TTK in its first damage range. Yeah, literally a 500 millisecond TTK. If you like aim at the neck or the upper chest and you just let the recoil take you up, you need 3 headshots to get it, but it does drop the TTK down to 500, which is absolutely crazy. But yep, this is the build: the glassless optic, the Heinrichter long barrel, quartermaster suppressor, high grain rounds, and 50 round drum. If you feel like this has too much recoil because of the high grain rounds, the only thing you can substitute here is switch to the quartermaster or the VT7 Spirit Fire suppressor. You'll get 1250 bullet velocity and almost 50 meters worth of 600 millisecond TTK. Which means you just be a little bit more aggressive with this build, but this build doesn't have any recoil, so it's a lot easier to control. So this is what I would recommend if you don't like the other one. I do have a couple of honorable mentions that we're going to get to here in a moment that are really good, but they're probably a little bit more high-skilled weapons. So let's go right into that. Last honorable mention: this gun actually kills extremely fast. It just happens to have a decent amount of like horizontal recoil. It has like an S-shaped recoil. So this is one of those guns where you just have to make sure you're strafing back and forth as you shoot. But in its first damage range, if you're accurate from the, I think it's like stomach up, and you don't hit any like extremity shots, in its first damage range, it has like a 600 millisecond TTK, and that goes all the way out to like 28 meters. So it's pretty good for that first damage range. If you have it out, you're gonna fry them. The final TTK though is in its second damage range is 825 milliseconds, which is actually extremely quickly. And this build is really really good for that. So we got the precision stock, the dozer long barrel, quartermaster suppressor, high grain rounds, and the 50 round drum. If you need to drop something so that way you can have less recoil, I would recommend dropping the high grain rounds and adding in a sight so that way. And specifically, I would use the glassless optic for this one just to make sure that you are getting as much firing aim stability as you can muster. We have the WSP-9. Now, technically, if you don't count the open bolt delay, which means if you start shooting at someone before they shoot at you, and you're not missing bullets, technically the WSP-9 has a 600 millisecond TTK, which is really, really fast, okay? So it is technically the second fastest SMG, killing SMG with combination shot location, but that open bolt delay gives it about 54 milliseconds extra towards its time to kill. So that being said, we are going to put that at number 5 just in case, because we're going to go by, um, if you guys shoot at the same time. I want you to bear in mind this is a 12.5 meters, which is prime SMG range. Obviously, if we went out and did this, it would be a lot different. But we'll go to 12.5 meters. The WSP9 has a 654 millisecond TTK with the open bolt delay. If you're shooting somebody who's not shooting back, then obviously you don't have to worry about that. 600 millisecond TTK is fast enough to kill just about anybody real quick. So you have the Wasp factory stock, the Hiss short light barrel, quartermaster suppressor, XRK edge, hand stop, and the 40 round mag, which will be sufficient. You can go to the 50 round mag if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it because it slows the gun down a little bit too much. Now, going strictly by TTK, the Superior 46 is number 4 on the list at a 630 millisecond TTK in its first damage range, which is the most important one. But the Superior has excellent movement speed, which is huge, and for whatever reason, it just feels really good, and it's really consistent with killing. So I could rate it higher, but we're just going to strictly go by the statistics for this one. Like I said, I have tested all these weapons, and some of them do feel as good as the others. The Superior is one of those ones where it feels better than the stats tell us it does. So we have the Rescue 9 stock, which is going to give us recoil control and movement speed. The Bore 99 short barrel gives us all the movement speed. It also helps with our sprint to fire and ADS speed. Quartermaster suppressor is going to keep us off the mini map, and it's going to help with recoil immensely. And it only hurts your sprint to fire and ADS a little bit. And then the high grain rounds are going to extend out that damage range because the bore barrel does hurt our damage range just a little bit. So our first damage range with this build is like 13, a little over 13 meters. 40 round mag is the maximum. This gun still feels really good, and it's still worth using. Number 3 on our list is the Conversion Kit BP50. Um, they fixed the ammo situation, so now it does actually use 9mm SMG ammo in game, which means you can pair this with your assault rifle or LMG or battle rifle or whatever, and not have to worry about carrying more extra assault rifle ammo. So this, in its first damage range, has a 609 millisecond TTK. The movement speed is still really good on this, and this build has basically no recoil. It is also very, very fast for aim down sight speed, so you'll be frying with that absolutely. We have the Kimura laser light. If you want to put a sight on it instead, because you don't like the iron sights for whatever reason, you can take off the laser and put on a sight. Quartermaster suppressor keeps us off the map, helps with recoil control immensely. High grain rounds extends out that damage range and gives us a little bit better bullet velocity. The Revenger kit is what turns it into an SMG, and then we have the Trust 4 grip tape, which is going to give us recoil control and firing aim stability. So definitely give this one a try as well. It definitely fries. On our list with a 600 millisecond TTK on the dot is the MCW with the Jack Raven conversion kit. This thing absolutely melts, and with this build, you do have a really fast aim down sight speed and a very fast sprint to fire, so it makes it feel SMG like. These silent shot integral suppressor barrel does hurt your damage range, but it brings it down to like 16 meters instead of 20, which is where it starts, which still is really, really good. And its second damage range, it only drops off a little bit. You still have like a 750 millisecond TTK out there, which is pretty good. So we get the rapid strike grip. Jack Raven kit obviously is what converts it and makes it hit really hard. 40 round mag is the most that you get, unfortunately, with the fast fire rate too. The SL skeletal vertical grip is a big one for this because it helps us with our sprint to fire and aim down sight speed, but it also helps with recoil gun kick and vertical recoil, which is what the MCW mostly has as vertical. And then you have the silent shot integral suppressor. It's going to keep you out the mini map for one, and for two, it's going to help with movement speed and with our aim down sight, and sprint to fire time. So this thing is, it shoots really straight for the most part, kills really fast, and moves really fast. So it's a very aggressive weapon. And the absolute close range meta goes to the static HV. The static HV in its first damage range with combination shots, only requiring one headshot for you to get it, is 584 milliseconds. It is a bit slower if you don't hit any headshots, so bear that in mind. But the TTK is universal across the rest of the body. But like I said, mix in one headshot and you have a sub 600 TTK, making it the best close range weapon in class. It has an innate 16 meter damage range and 600 meter per second bullet velocity, so it's good in both of those. Has slight damage drop offs, so we're good at range, makes a good sniper support, and it's very, very, very fast. This build has almost no recoil and is very easy to use. Spry Light Stock is going to help us with all of our mobility as well as our ADS and I believe the sprint to fire time, hurting our recoil a little bit. NIDAR Model 2023 is your optic option. Use whatever one you are most comfortable with. If you are comfortable with the iron sights, like I do like the iron sights as well, you can throw on like the overpressure rounds so you can inflict flinch, which will help you land more shots and help them miss more shots. The auger light barrel, it doesn't hurt your damage range, hurts your recoil a little bit, but it gives you everything across the board as far as mobility and ADS and sprint to fire. Quartermaster suppressor makes this thing an absolute laser beam, as does the paracord grip, which also helps with movement speed and your strafe speed. So this build is very strafey as well. Definitely the absolute meta. Make sure this is the gun that you're using when it really counts. And for our honorable mention for close range, the Tac Stance Lockman Shroud with the Jacked Estimator kit is also another very meta choice. In its first 12.5 meter damage range, it has a 600 millisecond TTK, which is insanely fast, and it drops down to about 675 after that. So it actually does make a good sniper support. So do bear that in mind. We have the Stockless mod, which is going to help with our Tac Stance spread and all of our mobility stats. The Kimura Laser Light, which is going to help us with our sprint to fire in AD on sight speed, as well as helping our Tac Stance spread. Bruin Bastion Angle Grip helps our hip fire and Tac Stance. As well as gives us actual recoil control, as well as gives us firing aim stability, which is going to help you land more shots on your target because your gun's not bouncing around as much. The 50-round drum is more than enough. You could get away with the 40-round mag if you are a little bit better with the game with this. So keep that in mind, and just give this gun a try. I promise you, it's worth using. Going to do it for our season 5 meta. I hope you guys enjoyed. I put a lot of effort into testing these weapons and making sure they are the best of the best, and I know that they are, and they are the best of the best, built exactly the way that I have them. Obviously, you guys are free to build your weapons however you guys want, however you guys are most comfortable with, but I promise if you take these guns as is, you will fry with them. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys like and comment on the video. Make sure you tell me if I missed anything, or if you think that something is better, let me know, and I will be more than happy to test it. You can give me a build. Link to my Discord will be in the description, as well as my Twitch channel, which I haven't really been doing much of that, but it is there, so give that a follow. Go ahead and join the Discord, join our community. You can drop your builds down there. You can also drop your builds in the comment section, and I'll take a look and I'll give it a playtest. Make sure you guys, since you guys have hopefully gotten to this point, thank you for watching the whole video. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.